Matt Stepp with Dave Campbell's Texas Football back here at the Texas High School Coaches Association and Convention. Here with the head coach of the Woodrow Wilson Wildcats and Dallas ISD, Coach John Fish. Coach, it's good to see you as always.
Matt, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Coach, first off, the convention seems to get bigger and bigger every year. The Dave Campbell's booth is the place to be, I think. We're right in the middle of this thing, and we got a lot going on, so I appreciate you stopping by.
Absolutely. It's a hot spot. It's the place to be, man. We got our coaches here, and man, what you guys do and then do for all of our coaches and our kids in Texas, man, this is nobody better than you guys.
I mean, I figured out a way for them to pay me to watch high school football. I don't know how I did it, but I figured out a way to do it.
Brother, it's the same thing in coaching. That's why they pay us to get to coach football and love on kids, man. What else is there, man?
The only difference is I don't have to worry about losing. I'm undefeated. I'm undefeated. So now you are undefeated in 2023, so you're in a good mood, right?
No doubt, baby.
There you go. A great year in 2022. You guys, district runner-ups, got into the playoffs, and I thought gave South Oak Cliff a really good game there in the district championship game, and I think South Oak Cliff benefited from that. I think talking to Coach Todd and Coach Ward and those guys over there, they were really happy that you guys were able to push them and kind of get them playoff ready. For you guys, what's it going to take that next step and not be the team that's just pushing people, but maybe be the team that's winning those games and making some noise come playoff time?
Anytime you step into a position your first year, obviously, you're evaluating what do we need, all the things. One thing we didn't have to worry about with our kids is the amount of effort, energy, and buy-in that they were going to have. They are all in. These are the best kids we've ever coached. As we went through the year, obviously we have a really tough non-district schedule. Getting a district, and we knew all roads lead to SOC. The biggest thing that kept popping up is finishing games. We're right there with Mansfield Legacy. We obviously go into the SOC game, and it's a one-score game with about 8 minutes left, and obviously we turned the ball over a few times and came up short. And I think for our kids, you got affirmation, you got the confirmation you belong there, but now in year two, as we go into 2023, it's about finishing, and that's where we're at.
That's the hardest part, right? It's pushing that boulder and getting it over the top, right? That's the hardest part. And you mentioned turnovers. I mean, you've been around great programs in the past, programs that have made deep playoff runs. The common denominator, I would say, you would agree with amongst those great teams is they don't turn the ball over, and they usually create turnovers as well, right?
That's it. And man, I can't say enough great things about our defense coordinator, Hunter Hensler. Does a great job with our defense going out and taking the ball away. And now offensively, it's just about continuing to get better, clean it up. And man, when you don't shoot yourself in the foot, you win a lot of games.
There you go. Now, specifically your ball club in 2023, I know on paper you got a pretty good quarterback back, and it helps to have a good quarterback back. Aside from that, what are some areas of strengths going to be for the Woodrow Wilson Wildcats?
We started 4 sophomores on the offensive line last year. I don't care how good you are. When you've never played Friday night football and you're going out there and you got 4 guys up front, it's kind of – you're getting baptized by fire. Sure. So for the growing pains that those guys had to go through last year, I think there's going to be huge benefits in year 2 for those guys that go into their junior year. We bring all those guys back. We got a freshman coming up in Tyler Amaya who's going to be a stud. Just being able to run the football at a level that I think – we didn't reach the standard we wanted to last year, and I think as we go into this next year, that's an area that I'm excited about. We graduated 4 seniors in the skill positions. We had really good skill kids, but we've got some really good young kids. I think that they're going to step up, but they got to grow up too, and we saw that over the spring with those guys. You talk about the quarterback, and the best thing for him was watching him take those guys in. When you're the quarterback with a senior group of skill kids, it's kind of fun just to deal the pill a little bit and throw that thing around to those guys. But when you step into a year where you got a bunch of young kids, those guys got to be your guys now. And so watching –
he's got to lead, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And watching him take those guys under his wing this spring and really grow them each day, that's been really good to see. And then defensively, man, we return a bunch of dudes that fly to the football, man. They are so fun to watch. Just the swag they take the field with. I mean, they'll run through a brick wall. We got a couple of linebackers in Sawyer Platt and Nico Vitale. We call them the Bash Brothers. Yeah. They are dudes. Okay. And so excited to watch them, that nucleus of the defense. It's going to be a fun year.
Those sophomores that were on, how much growth have you seen from them physically? Because, the young men especially mature at a different rate than the ladies do. And so, growing up and kind of growing into almost a grown man's body, have those guys grown up, been in the weight room, and have you seen them change a little bit and be more physically able to handle the great defense? Because obviously like South Oak Cliff, great defensive line last year.
Yep.
Putting sophomores in front of those guys might have been a challenge. Do you feel like they're more physically equipped to handle those elite defensive lines heading into the season?
I think without a doubt. And you talk about sophomores. Our sophomore class is just an incredible group of kids. It's a large class, and we played a bunch of them last year. But just to watch their development over the offseason, Drew Smith, our offensive coordinator, kind of runs our strength and conditioning as well. He's been groomed by Gino Pierce and the PC crew, and so watching their development over the past 6 months has been amazing. You watch them now as they come into summer strength conditioning, and they look like different kids, man. And so that's exciting to see that physical development, and I think it's going to pay off for us on Friday nights.
Final question for you. I mean, obviously, South Oak Cliff takes up a lot of oxygen in the room when it comes to your district, and rightfully so. They're back-to-back state champions.
No doubt.
But I think people forget how – I think the district as a whole has gotten better. And the teams in your district, we got Coach Harrison on deck here. Kimball should be a lot better.
No doubt.
Coach Jackson at Seagoville has done a great job. They should be better. I know that there's zones. You don't play everyone. But how have you seen coming into the district do you expect that depth in the district? I mean, even teams like Conrad should be a lot better in 2023. How much have you seen the district improve overall, the brand of football played in Dallas ISD?
A ton. And I think that, obviously spend as much time as I did in Frisco, you kind of get used to a certain way of, seeing some kind of everybody's kind of good, right? Coming into Dallas and in my first year, obviously Coach Jack came in at Seagoville, Bam came in over at Kimball, and to see the growth that they've had in their programs, the way that they're going in and developing a culture with those kids, they're all going to be better. Talking about Conrad, I mean, they got a quarterback that kid's good, and I think that's a testament to not only what's going on in the district. I think it's the coaches that are bringing there and the amount of investment they're putting into their programs. You talk about Coach Jack and just watching the program he's building at Seagoville. They do it the right way, and the growth they're having with the numbers. Their numbers are rising, and it's good for our kids too because, hey man, it ain't just us in SOC, right? If we're not growing every day, if we're not getting better, and when your kids see that too, we all get better. So,
rising tide raises all boats, right? And it gets you guys ready for the playoffs,
That's
right? If you're playing good people in district, it's going to have you ready for those big playoff games, right?
And that's the hope we have, as you go through, and it is tough when you go through 4 games, and then you all of a sudden you pop up in round 1 versus Ennis, and especially coming off the SOC game where emotions are high, you want to go play for a district title. The hope is that can kind of become the standard each week of every week is a playoff atmosphere. Every week you're playing someone so that when you get in that first round, it's not this all of a sudden, whoa, here we go. I think you're going to see a lot more success coming from Dallas and those schools because of that.
Well, Coach, we'll let you get to it. Appreciate your time as always.
Thank you, Matt.
Good luck in 2023,
yes,
and we appreciate what you do for student athletes in the state of Texas.
Man, nobody better than you. Appreciate you.